고와それ
Everything changes every which way. You got to hold on to what you need. And if I hide myself away, how could I go with the world around me? You can trust each other. Everything changes every which way. You got to hold on to what you stay here till the morning. Stay here till the sun. so let's go.
처음에 시간이 시작이었어요.
一旦こちらが先。
垣根の垣根の曲がり角焚き火だ焚き火だ落ち葉焚きあたろう